All right, so I'm going to just start. We've got about 10 minutes before the model starts modeling. So what I want to do is to kind of give you a directive, and we'll be working off this directive in the weeks to come. And if you don't completely get it, you will get it because we will be referring to this uh, often enough. Now, the thing is that I'm going to break the drawing process down into several stages. And the important stages for us, the ones we're going to be concentrating on, are stages 1, 2, and 3. Stage 4 is all about art. We're not going to talk about art. Stage 1, 2, that's stage 4. And stage 5, 6, and 7, forget about it. Not talking about it at all. But we will be talking extensively about stages 1, 2, and 3, and occasionally dip into 4. Stages 1, 2, and 3 are about skill, developing skills, right? Drawing skills. Stage 4 is about art. It means developing your personal style, your technique, your own signature, what it is that you like that makes your drawing unique, okay? But stages 1, 2, and 3 is about learning the drawing process. So here it goes. Stage 1 is gesture. I'm going to break that down more simply for you. Stage 2 is formulation. Stage 3 is anatomy. Okay? So let's go back and define those better. We all have a different idea of what gesture means. This is what it means to me and what it will mean to us. It doesn't mean that this is an arguing point that you can go out and argue with others about what gesture means. But what it does mean is that you'll know what I mean when I'm talking about it, and we'll have the conversation based on an agreement of what the language means for us. Okay? So gesture for us is stage 1. And stage 1 means tell me a story in as few lines as you can, using all 8 parts of the body with relative proportion. Ta-da, right? So it's tell me a story. Now, tell me a story is not tell me what the subject looks like. It's tell me what the subject is doing. In other words, tell me the story. It's a verb, not a subject. So when you do that gesture, you're searching for what the story is, not a likeness. You're not looking for likeness at this point. Now, you are working for relative proportion, okay? So granted, there is some sense that likeness should, at least we should identify it as a human being, right? As opposed to some other kind of creature like a hobbit or a teddy bear, okay? So it's a human being and basically an adult human being. So when I say relative proportion, I mean, relative to adult proportions. So I'll say it again. Tell me a story using all 8 parts of the body with as few lines as possible and relative proportion. Stage 1. Now, when you get that down on paper, it should be very, very light because you're going to develop it into stage 2. Stage 2 is formulation. So stage 1 is a dance. It's a movement. It's active. Stage 2 is cerebral. You're talking about making shapes and volumes. It's about thinking about shapes and volumes, observing them and making them, right? Formulation. So what it is the waves are becoming manifest into shapes. This is generally where things take a bad turn. In other words, things start to stiffen up. It loses the life and so on. I hear this over and over again, and it's not just from new people. It's from people that have been professionals for years. We all are dealing with this because you're solidifying something that's alive. It's like you're capturing it in a cage and you don't want it to feel depressed. You want it to continue to express that energy. So the trick is how you keep it alive from stage 1 into stage 2. And the thing is stage 2, you're nailing everything down, right? So it's shape, volume, like that. And you're not allowing things to flit about. So how do we keep it alive? So stage 1 is a verb. Stage 2 is nailing the subject down, okay? Without losing the doing. And we'll talk about that. So stage 3 is vocabulary. Oh, I said stage 3 is vocabulary. right? That's anatomy. So without anatomy, you have less vocabulary. The more anatomy you know, the more vocabulary you have. Now try to say something that's smart and interesting with no vocabulary. So vocabulary is going to have to enter into the sentence making process. So if you say stage one is about the idea, stage two is about putting it on paper, sentences, then stage three is about the words, the vocabulary you use. Get it? So everything takes place in stage two. Stage one inspires it. Stage three articulates it. Let me say that again. Stage one inspires it. Stage three articulates it. Does that make sense? Could you write that down for me? All right. So the whole working takes place in the sentence structure, stage two. It's cerebral. Yeah? Stage two, therefore, is where we spend most of our time. But we want to remain inspired, and we also want to become more and more clear, simpler, more articulate. All right? Does that make sense? 3 stages. You see, so I've broken, this is an artificial breakdown. I'm breaking this down this way. So everything you've ever heard about drawing and ideas about drawing fit into one or the other of these 3 stages. So now the question is where they belong. Okay? So ideas and concepts about light and tone, stage 2. Anatomy, stage 3, will be interpreted by visual concepts. So for instance, a rib cage. If I say, I want you to draw the rib cage, the first thing you should be thinking about when you draw the rib cage is not about each and every bone, but about what is a rib cage. Okay? What is a rib cage? So the first thing is that it's a shaped volume. It's not a bunch of bones, it's a shaped volume that is made up a bunch of smaller parts that began to define it. So the first thing is that in a visual language that we might put on paper is that it might be like an egg with the pointed side up. Get my point there? And now you break it down. So where is the neck? Where's the sternum? Where's the thoracic arch? Before you start drawing each and every bone, we're breaking it down from the top down, the largest to the smallest, right? We're not just going in and drawing details, hoping that the details will add up to the big thing. Somehow you never arrive at the big thing by starting with the smallest things first. We're going to start with the biggest ideas first. So what's the really biggest idea? It's the gesture. It's the tell me the story. If you don't have that, and you start right away with shapes and volume, your piece will look like a decal. It won't feel alive. Get it? You don't want it to look like a stone statue. You want it to feel like it's ready to walk away. So the first thing, the biggest thing, is the thing that animates it, the spirit of it. That's why I use Spirit of the Pose. That's why the name of my first book is called Spirit of the Pose. Because it's not really a pose, it's an action. And we need to find the action through the spirit of the pose. All right, everybody?